Hello everyone. Today we are at a furniture factory and I'm going to show you the solutions that I definitely do not recommend when ordering and manufacturing furniture in China. At the end, I'll show you the worst mechanism that I absolutely do not recommend. What's the first thing I don't recommend? It all looks very beautiful. This mechanism here, which lifts up, looks interesting and attractive. I don't recommend it for the following reasons. A, you're unlikely to use it regularly because it takes a long time to extend. It's slow, and so on. B, there's a chance that it could break sooner or later. In my opinion, I'd rethink the design to avoid this mechanism, but it can be installed. Quality-wise, it's fine. I'd install a good one and wouldn't try to save money on that. But when it comes to usage, there are two options. Either it will always be closed or always open. That's what we've seen from experience. I never recommend this mechanism. It's a silent nightmare. Honestly, it's just absolutely awful. So you open the facade and it slides into the wall. This won't last you very long. There's a high chance that someone will come over, try to open or close it, break it, and so on. Or kids might yank it. In general, it's just not durable at all. That's it, it's broken. It doesn't work. Or maybe I broke it. In the kitchen, it's better to install simple hinge doors that open outward. You can even have them open up to 180 degrees. If you don't have enough space, you can use sliding doors or have one panel slide out while the other slides in. But this particular element is just terrible. So I never recommend it. It might look stylish and beautiful, but that's even without the push-to-open mechanism. If you add a push-to-open mechanism, it breaks down almost instantly. Even if you install some super expensive German one, it will break sooner or later. The next type of interior fitting that I don't recommend. We've talked a lot about this as well, this type of interior fitting. These are built-in shelves that slide in and out. Yes, it looks cool and attractive. But in terms of quality and durability, there are big questions about how you'll actually use it, right? And secondly, it eats up space. That is, you can adjust them, but you could just as well make regular shelves that can be adjusted in height, and still you lose some space on the sides because all this hardware needs to be installed. It's better to make simple, basic shelves that will last you 30 years. So this kind of hardware, I don't recommend it. It does look interesting. This is a side-sliding front panel, so you can install it if you have a front panel that for some reason is close to the wall and you only need to open it occasionally and there are no other options. But most likely you made a mistake in your design project. In such a case, you can use this option, but for regular use, it's better to stick with simple hinges. Simple hinges that open. They're reliable, they're durable, they're high quality, and they'll last you a long time. So this is just a gimmick that with a high probability will break on you later. Do you really need this? Then I know for sure that our clients from the audience absolutely don't need this. They want everything to be as high quality as possible. Preferably, they don't want it to take too long. Ideally, it should be as simple as possible for them and they should be able to deal with just one company. Everything should be manufactured, assembled, shipped, insured, and installed in their home, all for a reasonable price. This kind of hardware is popular. Bloom hardware with a servo drive. Here's a pantograph. At this exhibition, they're demonstrating it all. Is this all necessary? Well, of course not, but I always advise against it. It's just an extra gimmick, probably only needed in rare cases, like if your height doesn't allow you to reach. But why design a project like this if you can't even use it? I also don't recommend using servo drives. There you go, it broke. This is Bloom hardware. It doesn't work. Just a moment ago, it was working. You can make the same kind of hardware here with a hidden element that you can open yourself. Here you can add a handle, you lower it, or you can split it into two elements. That is, you can make an upper part, an upper module, where you can store dishes, plates that you only use occasionally, or other items. And right here you can make shelves for the items you use every day. One thing I don't recommend ordering, and there are quite a few of these online, is ordering lighting blocks powered by a single element. So there is a remote control included. And you can easily set up turning the lights on and off. Here you can choose 4 light sources, turn them on or off. You can turn it off, you can turn it off, you can turn it on. This is definitely something you shouldn't do at all. It looks interesting in the video. Here, there, yes, maybe it seems cool and fun, but in real life, you won't use it. The remote will just be lying around somewhere. God forbid it breaks down. God forbid, that would just be a nightmare. So if you want to do something like this, you can run wiring to the power supply, install a power block on the wall, and do it that way. So mechanisms of this type, or smart home tool mechanisms, I definitely do not recommend. All of these various things, ideally, should be carefully crafted to be as simple as possible. You can install a separate switch, set up 4 or 5 switches for each zone. That's very convenient. But the question is in the execution itself. Yes, after all, we're talking about quality and durability. From the standpoint of execution and durability, there should be separate switches, not these kinds of blocks which are very likely to fail. Even though this is, well, a premium business segment factory that strictly avoids purchasing or installing any low-quality components for their kitchens, it is still highly evident that it's not durable at all, and you really shouldn't do it. I also strongly do not recommend ordering any furniture made from laminated chipboard whatsoever. You can see here, on your left is laminated chipboard, while over on the right is plywood. Plywood is more durable and resilient. All the cabinets in the USSR at our grandmother's homes, which have lasted for 30 years and are covered with lacquer and veneer, were made from plywood. It's a much more durable material. At the same time, in China, it doesn't cost much more. Not much more, but this material in the form of plywood will last you much longer than laminated chipboard. Nowadays, of course, most furniture is made from laminated chipboard because it's cheaper, of course. Chipboard is just simple wood shavings glued and pressed together. Plywood consists of boards glued and pressed together, and of course they are denser, although on the outside they are further covered either with veneer or film, so you won't notice the difference visually. But in terms of overall build quality, of course, a board made from plywood will be significantly more durable over time. I would strongly advise against ordering metal facades without bumpers and without high-end premium soft close mechanisms. Right here there are these soft close mechanisms. It closes quite gently, but it still hits the lower beam. So this entire facade will constantly make a lot of noise, and sooner or later you will either end up breaking it or seriously damaging it. Small bumpers are installed there. This highly reliable module will serve you for many years if you use it properly. I also do not recommend ordering these kinds of corner elements. Here is a corner cabinet, which also serves as a walk-in closet. First, we have to open one of the doors. Moreover, it touches the adjacent facade. See? It catches. It catches on the side facade, so this facade will get all scratched up. Next, we open it, and after that, we open another door. This door bumps into the neighboring facade. Here, it will get scratched up very quickly, or it will break, or the hardware will get ripped out. Sooner or later, you'll open it too forcefully, and the hardware will break. The second facade doesn't bump into anything, but it doesn't open to 180 degrees, so you end up with this kind of passage to Narnia. Although from the perspective of the design project, when you see the quality visualization, it seems really cool. But when you start using it in real life, you realize what a mistake you've made. We always advise clients to consider things based on how they will use their furniture and durability. Obviously, when we create a design project, about 95% of what clients see, what the designer sees, and what the customer sees is the same. When the customer sends us the design projects, we implement them. But often, together with designers and clients, we refine and modify the design project during the process. Because we realize that this particular solution is odd. In other words, it's clear that there will be problems. We always ask, how sure are you that you will actually use this? So, how sure are you that you'll be living with these servo drives? How sure are you that you'll be willing to wait for the countertop to slide out every time, especially when your kids are hungry? How realistic is that? And then the client is like, yeah, maybe we really don't need that. Plus, it's also more expensive. So you're making your project more expensive. The worst mechanism and hardware that I don't recommend is the push-to-open mechanism. That's the mechanism where you press on the front panel and it opens. It's very inconvenient. If you have a surface that easily gets dirty, it will get filthy very quickly, and it often breaks down. Instead, I recommend simple hinges. They're durable, high quality, and long-lasting. Send us your design projects, and we will do everything to make your dream project a reality.